In case of the Epstein files, are we entering into a holy war? In some denominations of the neo-Christian movement here in America that centers itself around evangelicalism, I could confidently say yes. Neo-Christian movements are the foundation of America and its history. From colonization to conquest, we have built an epicenter of the evangelical faith. But what happens when a religion that is about peace and love, acceptance and forgiveness is weaponized against its congregation? This is how you produce fear for a holy war. I grew up in the South. I heard about how at one point there would be a war in the Middle East and it will bring forth the coming of Christ. Now, it's also noted in the Bible that we will never know the day, the time, the year, the season of which that Jesus will come back, but there will be signs. As a child, I picked up on different patterns within my own family and faith. Noting and seeing that there was a lot of division within the congregation and the church pews, but also a lot of division within myself. Take, for instance, the language around Obama and how the entire Republican Party turned on John McCain for actually defending him during a rally. This is just a minor example of the whole. By saying that Barack Obama was a terrorist and pushing this narrative, they were able to get pockets of people radicalized. This particular voting season doesn't happen too far after the start of the Iraq War. There were a lot of talks of sleeper cell agents at that time. There were talks, and it was drilled into our heads that there would be Christian persecution in our country. And I remember as an evangelical child listening to Cassie by Flyleaf saying, yes, I would let them shoot me, having existential nightmares about war. While my family comforted me with the thought of at least Jesus will be coming back soon and we'll all be together in heaven. That's really fucking heavy for a fourth grader. But I knew my Bible, I knew my faith, and I knew that I was taught not to fear. So why was this fear being instilled, especially in youth? This is a common tactic within cults. Instill a fear, instill a savior, instill peace. Gaslight and condemn any questioning. Everyone has to believe it this way. This war that's happening in Iran is something that is years in the making. This isn't about regime changes. This isn't about oil. This is about one mission, conquering the Holy Land to stall the apocalypse, making sure that only the one true God, Jesus Christ, rules over the entire world. This is at least the evangelical narrative that will be pushed by different congressional leaders and church pews and on television and through books. But if you follow the money long enough, you start to see that it's actually to buy back land that we had already bought through oil trade. You also start to see who will be the biggest beneficiary of this war, and it's not our own government. It's our president, who has different stocks and different bonds that are actually tied to Saudi Arabia, including 2 hotels and a golf course. But war, it doesn't make money, it actually strangles out people who are working. That can't be true. The harder you work, the more money you make, the more money they can take from you to put in their back pockets and line their freshly cleaned asses, diapered or not. You will see a lot more propagandists. And in small rural towns and in different provinces, you're going to start seeing more cornerstone preachers. The ones that scream at you that you're going to hell and hand out pamphlets on how not to go to hell. They're really, really popular in the Southeast. This isn't to discredit or piss off people who have a religious practice. This is just for you to be able to understand what exactly this agenda is about. I just need you to remember that while this is happening, there will be a ton of different distractions that will be made by a propagandist machine. And it's up to you to make sure that you keep your head grounded in reality instead of following occult ghost stories. If you find yourself within a congregation that starts to speak of a holy war and prophecy, and yet starts to make you feel afraid but also comforted, just try to remember that that's step 2 within a cult. And that the fear is there for a reason. Because fear drives more profit and more money for those who already know it's a bunch of bullshit. Now don't forget, if you like content like this, go ahead and click all these buttons. Make sure you drop your comment down below. How do you feel about this supposed holy war in the Middle East? I hope you have a beautiful day. Please stay blessed, stay happy, stay safe and stay full, and please, for the love of God, remember not to shit your pants. And I will talk to you later. Bye.